The iPhone Fold is finally happening. With pretty much every major brand already in the foldable game, it's about time that Apple joined the party. But there's a catch. It may not launch until the end of next year, or even early 2027. So get that popcorn ready, and here's everything rumored about Apple's very first foldable iPhone. And if you're looking for some stunning wallpapers that will work not just on this foldable iPhone, but also on your regular iPhone, on your iPad, and on your Mac, we've got over 2,000 stunning wallpapers made by our own designers in our app Wallpapers, which is available for free on iOS and Android. Link down below. So we already covered the iPhone Fold back in April, and a few more new details have surfaced since. But first, let's quickly recap what we know so far. The iPhone Fold is expected to be a book-style foldable, so more like the Fold 7 or the Pixel Fold, and unlike a clamshell like the Flip. It's rumored to feature a 7.8-inch inner display, with a wider aspect ratio than the Fold 7, and a 5.5-inch outer screen that's also said to be much wider than the Fold 7, making typing far more comfortable. The screen is also rumored to be nearly crease-free, thanks to a titanium and liquid metal hinge. And speaking of titanium, it is rumored that the device could be made out of a mix of titanium and stainless steel, just like the iPhone 15 Pro and 16 Pro. And unlike the upcoming iPhone 17 Pro, that is rumored to go back to an aluminum build. So perhaps Apple is now saving titanium for their highest end products, like the upcoming iPhone Fold. Interesting enough, Apple may actually ditch Face ID in favor of Touch ID to save internal space. And as for the cameras, we are likely to see an under-the-display selfie camera on the inner screen, just like we used to have up until the Fold 6. And unlike the Fold 7, which reverted it back to a hole punch design for both displays. The outer screen is rumored to adopt a hole punch camera, just like the Fold 7. But speaking of cameras, we've had some more details and specs about them. The iPhone Fold is rumored to have a pair of two 48-megapixel cameras, with a primary one likely being a 24mm equivalent with an aperture of f/1.78, paired with a second-generation sensor-shift optical image stabilization. So same specs as the current iPhone 16 Pro's main sensor, whereas the second camera is expected to be a 48-megapixel ultra-wide, but no further details have been leaked here, so it is likely to be the same one as on the iPhone 16 Pro, although a telephoto camera seems unlikely. Next up, we have some new details about the thickness of the device. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo is stating that it is likely to have a thickness of 4.5 to 4.8 millimeters when unfolded, with more recent leaks from Instant Digital and Weibo suggesting a minimum thickness of 4.8. Now, this may have been impressive last year, but in 2025, and let alone 2026, when this iPhone Fold is rumored to launch, and not so much. Let me remind you that the new Fold 7 has a thickness of 4.2 millimeters, and the 2026 Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 8 may even be thinner. When folded, however, Kuo also believes the phone will measure between 9 to 9.5 millimeters, which is, of course, thicker than Samsung's latest Fold at 8.9. So what about its performance? Well, the foldable iPhone is expected to ship with Apple's A20 chip, built on TSMC's 2nm process. This could be a significant jump from the A18 Pro that we've got in the iPhone 16 Pro. And it could offer roughly 15% faster performance and up to 30% better efficiency compared to the A19 chips. The A20 is set to leverage advanced packaging technology such as wafer-level multi-chip module or WMCM integration. This will allow for high bandwidth on-package memory and also better thermal control, whilst also freeing up internal space for components like the dual-screen hardware and the batteries. Speaking of RAM, the iPhone Fold, just like the upcoming iPhone 17 Pro, is said to come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. Which brings me to the weight. And again, the news here isn't great. While we don't have a definite weight figure being leaked, there have been some rumors about the iPhone Fold being a bit heavier than the iPhone 16 Pro Max, which weighs in at 227 grams, but lighter than the latest iPad mini, which weighs at 293 grams. And honestly, even if it had the same weight as the iPhone 16 Pro Max, it still wouldn't be that impressive. And that's because Samsung has really raised the bar this year with the Z Fold 7 weighing only 215 grams. And this is why I'm saying that hardware-wise, the iPhone Fold may be outdated even before it's out. But with the hardware allegedly being outdated, why would anyone even buy this foldable iPhone? Well, up until now, we've only focused on the hardware, but we all know how good and reliable Apple's software is. Well, maybe except for iOS 18, which has been exceptionally buggy, but that's a different story. According to Mark Gurman's latest report, Apple is already actively developing iOS 27 with foldable specific software features, which will enable a distinct experience tailored to the iPhone Fold, meaning that this device would not run standard iOS out of the box. In fact, we may even see some borrowed elements from iPadOS in order to optimize that large 7.8-inch unfolded screen, with support for windowed multitasking, split screen support, slide over, and also custom app layouts. We've already seen a bunch of updates and new features for iPadOS 26, such as window controls and the menu bar from macOS making an appearance, so we're almost certain that these features will make their way onto this new iPhone Fold. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing this device run iOS on the outer screen and then seamlessly switch to iPadOS when unfolded. I think that would be really cool. Plus, as we all know, Apple tends to lag behind the competition when it comes to hardware innovation, but if you want a foldable that runs iOS, then this will be your only choice. And I have a feeling that Apple is banking exactly on that. Another key selling point of this device would be that inner screen, which may not have a crease at all. According to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, Apple is teaming up with Samsung and supplier EpidemicSound to use a laser-drilled metal stress distribution plate within the Fold. In English, they will be able to significantly reduce the screen or even eliminate it entirely. Reports suggest that Apple imposed a stricter crease-free standard than what Samsung applies in their own Galaxy Z Fold models. No foldable has yet been able to fully remove the crease, so Apple may be the first. However, if they keep delaying their own foldable, then the competition may be able to catch up fast. And the iPhone Fold's one big potential hardware advantage won't be an industry first after all anymore. Now, we gotta address the elephant in the room, the battery. Multiple sources, including MyDrivers and Fixed Focus Digital, report that the iPhone Fold could pack a 5,000 to 5,500 mAh battery, Apple's largest to date, even larger than the iPhone 16 Pro Max is, at 4,685. Apple might be exploring using silicon carbon tech to increase the battery size without compromising on the thickness, although it is unlikely that this will come to the very first generation Fold. Like the rumored Pixel 10 Pro Fold, also expected to have a large 5,000 mAh lithium-ion battery, shows us that this is possible, at the expense of thickness of course, as the Pixel 10 Pro Fold is also rumored to be quite thick, close to 11mm when unfolded. However, since we've already got foldables like the Automagic V5 that come with a 6,100 mAh battery and are just 4.1mm thin, the iPhone Fold's battery and thickness definitely don't seem that impressive, especially with a late 2026 launch. However, one reason why this foldable iPhone may actually catch on is that it could replace the iPad for a lot of people, including myself. Like, I haven't upgraded my iPad since my 2018 iPad Pro, which, to be fair, still runs really well. And nowadays, I pretty much only use it as a secondary screen for my MacBook when I travel, but having an iPad in my pocket would mean that I wouldn't even need to carry around my 2018 iPad Pro anymore. And finally, we have the rumored pricing. And I'm sure that this is not a surprise for anyone watching, but it will be very, very expensive. The latest reports from analysts such as Ming-Chi Kuo predict a starting price of over $2,000 for the first generation iPhone Fold, or even more than that. Although I feel like for the loyal Apple fanbase, this device will be seen as a must-have, so I'm pretty sure that it will sell pretty well. But what do you guys think? Would you consider buying a foldable iPhone, or would you wait for version number 2? Let me know down below. And if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, it does help the algorithm, and you subscribe for more updates on the iPhone Fold as soon as we've got them. I'm Daniel, this is ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH, signing out. Cheers.